Hey, Owen here, and today I'm at Telford to come to the Telford Scale Model World, and this is one of the largest scale model exhibitions in the UK, so I'm super excited to go around and have a look at what's on display. I quickly found out that apparently Telford isn't just the largest show in the UK.
It's the show. It's the biggest model show in the world.
In the world?
In the world. There's no bigger model show than Telford.
The show definitely is huge, with 3 massive halls full of stands, plus the competition area upstairs. Over the course of the day, I got tons of great advice and knowledge from very talented people, plus an insight into some upcoming releases from Airfix, ending the day with a look around the competition area and a chat with Tony, the competition secretary. That's all to come later in the video though, as first I started my day by wandering around the halls to see what was on display. This is how I met Roy, looking after the stand for the 32nd Special Interest Group. I asked him what the group was all about.
We're trying to promote a 32 scale and above in particular because that's our interest. We just like them a little bit bigger than normal.
That's really awesome. So would you like to talk me through some of the ones that you've built?
I'd be happy to do that. This particular model here is called the A10. Its nickname is the Warthog. This is the 2-seat variant. It never actually made squadron service. They thought it would be a good idea to have a second crewman in there to do the electronic works like they did in previous aircraft like the Phantom and so forth. But this never made it because they thought, well, the single-seat version is working pretty well. It's more expensive. It's been an interesting experimentation, but they only ever built 2 of them. Mm-hmm. I've played around with the colour scheme and stuff. Just had a little bit of fun with it, and that's what could have been. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's important that it's a fun hobby, isn't it?
We always stress we do this for fun. You'll always get people that kind of want to concentrate on the detail. They want to go to the nth degree to get it absolutely right. Well, of course, there's no such thing as a perfect model. It doesn't really exist. The reality is you're trying to make this model the best you can to entertain the people that are looking at it. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of engineering, a little bit of artwork. We like to see it as 3-dimensional art.
Roy also told me loads of really interesting history about this HE162 and IAR80. I definitely recommend you click the link in the video description below to find out more. Continuing my wander, I was overwhelmed by the number of incredible displays. The vast amount of variety of models was truly impressive. One stand had a massive selection of Hawker Typhoon models, and I love Typhoons, so I asked Tony to explain why there were so many.
Hi, I'm Tony Adams. I'm from Romsey Modelers. We've got our normal display, but we're also raising awareness for the Hawker Restoration Fund, which is aimed at getting a Typhoon in flight by 2024. And the aircraft is going to be based on an aircraft that actually flew in the war, which is RB396. They've got a Sabre engine ready to go with it, and they're basically pulling the aircraft together. So over the last 9 months, we've been building Typhoons. It's been a good project. The Society have been supporting us with a lot of artefacts from the aircraft to add provenance to the display. So we've got cockpit dials and various parts of engines.
Is it like a thing that you can donate to help them restore this type?
Yeah, if you go to www.hawkertyphoon.com, there's a lot of information about the project, photographs of what they're doing, events. You can become a member and actively participate in the project.
If you're interested in finding out more about Tony's Typhoon, click the link in the video description. In among the huge array of models, a very small but very detailed diorama caught my eye. It was built by John, and I asked him to tell me a little bit about it.
First off, the model is a 1/72nd scale Conqueror by OKB Grigorov. It's resin and photo etch, very well detailed. It's a very good kit. I had an idea, because I'm ex-military, of training areas, especially in Germany. It's set in sort of late autumn where it's wet, muddy. For the water effect, for the mud, I've used water effects, put it into separate container, added some dark brown acrylic paint, mixed it up, then just painted it on. And then from doing the ground, I've also then painted it that same effect onto the vehicle, so it looks like it's just waved through it. Yeah. The underlaying part of it is plaster of Paris. So once that was done, I had to lead the track and actually push the vehicle in to make sure you got the track marks first, which is fine. It's little things, it's the little details that add it on.
Definitely, because it looks incredible.
Thank you.
If you want to hear more about John's processes and techniques, click the link in the video description below. Following the trail of beautiful dioramas, I found myself in the hall where the groups from outside the UK are located. Here I met Stephen from Lake Constance in Germany. I asked if he was enjoying the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the second time for me to be here. Last year was my first time, and the colleagues from my club said to me, why didn't you come with us to Telford? It's a long travel to here, 1,500 kilometers. And I said, okay, I will do. And when I was here last year, I knew I will be back next year. It's the biggest show I've ever seen. It's fantastic here.
In particular, I loved Stephen's Spitfire diorama and asked him to tell me a bit more about it.
I love this idea because it's the scene when the pilot is coming back from his work, and Doc is just running up to his pilot, to his friend. He likes that he's back again. And in the front there are two other pilots just coming back and talking about how the air fight was, and that's what was my inspiration for this diorama.
It's really, really nice. I do like it a lot. How long would it take you to build something like that?
It is relative easy to build a kit from Tamiya, but the paint job was in this case, about 80 hours. Because there are a lot of surfaces on it, and
If you would like to hear more about Stephen's models, click the link in the video description. I was continually impressed by the beautiful work on display, and there was so much of it to take in. Not only is there historical and modern vehicles, but also fantasy and science fiction models. This huge Millennium Falcon, built by Martin, caught my eye, and I had to find out more. Yeah, so what scale actually is this?
It's 43rd scale, 1/43rd scale.
Yeah, that's an interesting scale.
Yeah, because a lot of the parts on it were designed around kits that were out at the time when the original one was built around 1975. And a lot of them are car parts, and 1/43rd is a car scale. The seats that you see actually inside it, I believe, were actually from a Porsche 911.
Like nice exhaust pipes and stuff that are possibly from car kits and stuff.
We have parts here that are actually from engine gearboxes. On the front of the mandibles here, we've got top parts of engines, the cylinder heads. The part from tanks at the back here. There's all sorts of bits and pieces of Sherman tanks and Panzer tanks all over it.
That's great. So is this kind of like the size of model that they would actually have used to film on the film?
I believe so, yes. It was one of the sizes. They did actually have bigger ones, and they used a lot smaller ones.
That is amazing. And it's got like lights and it's got motors in it and stuff,
yes,
has it?
There's motors on it, yes. We've got a remote control key fob for it as well, which operates all the lights, as you can see.
Is there can you see inside it?
Yes, you can. Yes, it all actually does open up as well. So you do have a full interior there as well. Unfortunately, that's not lit up inside there.
Yeah, but still, that's incredible. To see more of the awesome features and hear some really interesting facts about this kit, click the link in the video description. So far, I was doing well to resist the temptation to buy any kits, though I nearly gave in when I found this box of really cool old models. Tearing myself away, I continued my journey around the show, which is when I bumped into Malcolm from the charity Models for Heroes. I asked him to explain a bit more about what the charity does.
So Models for Heroes collect donated kits and scale model kits for veterans and their therapeutic modelling sessions. We found that scale modelling is really good for helping chaps with PTSD, anxiety and depression, and we send the kits out to Help for Heroes and Combat Stress. So we bring the kits along, we sit the chaps down and we say, right, we're going to build some kits. And then for 2 hours they'll sit there whether they like it or not. And they'll build some kits. And 99% of the time, by the end of the session, they're looking up on their phones trying to find more kits. It's really good for their concentration and their focus, and in 2 hours they can get something done and finished, and they can have it in their hand and say, oh, I finished that, I can put that on my mantelpiece and show my kids, and it's something that I've accomplished, especially if they've been in a dark place for a while. It's a nice positive thing to do. It's clear, to looking at the models, how much they've enjoyed them. It's really good.
So if people were interested in supporting the charity, where would they go to do that?
They would go to modelsforheroes.co.uk, or you can find us at Models for Heroes on Twitter, and we're also on Facebook as well.
If you want to hear more about what the charity does, click the link in the video description below. After a much needed sit down and a very tasty pulled pork baguette, I set off to see what was on offer for the younger modellers here at Telford, with the plan to loop around to the competition area at the end of the day. I quickly met Paul, who was running a stand called Role Models.
What we do is we let children under the age of 16 bring their models down and display them. We've got no rules, they can build whatever they want, whether it's very accurate armour or even if it's a pink and blue pterodactyl. It doesn't matter, anything to get the children involved. We've got a Facebook page where children, along with their parents, can build kits and post progress of the kits as they go along. And then every year, this is the third year now, they normally run the stand. I just sort of sit in the background and just let them get on with it. They build what they want, they sit here, they stand here, people come in and they talk about their models. So it gives them a chance to show off what they've done.
I thought this was a great idea, and all the models on the stand truly were fantastic. I asked Owen if he'd like to show me some of his builds.
The one that I'm most proud of right now is a Stug 3G. I've weathered this and I've hand painted it. I've made a base for it.
That's a really amazing base. And I love all of this static grass as well. Did you do that yourself?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Usually I use a piece of tweezers to just put them in.
How long do you think that took you?
Around 6 months.
Wow, that's a very long time. You're very patient. That's very impressive. If you want to hear more from Paul and see more of Ewan's builds, click the link in the video description. Another really great place for younger modellers to show off their talent at Telford was the Airfix make and paint area. Sally told me some more about it.
Yeah, the kids just come, grab a kit, choose a kit, and then we've got all the glues and all the paints and paintbrushes, all the instructions, and they get to just have a go at making it, trying to read the instructions, and it's nice to see them getting involved and getting covered in paint. Like, look at the state of some of them. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Another great thing about it is that it's a really good bonding experience.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice seeing all the dads and sons and mums and sons and daughters, so...
And one of those teams getting stuck in was Lucas and his dad, building a Messerschmitt BF110. So are you excited to get started on this? Do you think you're going to build the whole thing?
I might do, because we're going to go up to the competition room at 3, so I've got till 3 to finish.
You've got about 2 hours, okay. Have you got paints and stuff?
Yeah, they're just all around.
What would you say is some good advice for people who are just beginning building kits?
So start off simple, don't go for a massive kit, go like 172, and then just practice building it and painting it with hand painting, and then if you get a bit more like into bigger stuff and you don't want to hand paint the whole thing, you could like buy an airbrush maybe, and then it's easier to paint it.
Yeah. I think that's some great advice from Lucas. And if you want to hear more about what he's working on and the Airfix make and paint, click the link in the video description. I actually caught up with Lucas at the end of the show and he'd made some great progress on his BF110. While I was at the make and paint stand, I thought I'd drop in on Airfix to hear some more about their upcoming releases from their researcher, Simon. So are these some of the new kits that are done using that technology?
Yeah, so 2 of the ones in here were done from scanning. The Phantom, we scanned an aircraft at Duxford, and the Seafarer, we scanned another example somewhere else. With the Millennium, we used the drawings from Finland, and Brooklands Museum gave us the drawings from the Wellington. So there's a real nice mix here of aircraft done using really modern technology and some more old-fashioned way of using drawings, offset tables and GAs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Would you mind telling us a little bit about the Phantom, because that's quite a highly anticipated kit that's coming out?
Yeah, people are really excited about that. Unfortunately, some weather issues out in the Far East have delayed it. But it's a great kit. The first one is going to be a Navy example, as you can see, extended nose leg, bits and pieces like that. So it's a really well requested kit, really popular kit. So it should make a really good splash when it's released in the next coming weeks.
Next coming weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my next question as
Yeah,
well.
it's early December.
Early December. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If you'd like to hear more about how Airfix scan vehicles, which personally I find really interesting, as well as more information about their upcoming kits, click the link in the video description. It was approaching 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by this time it was becoming very hard for me to resist spending any money. I ended up giving in, but rather than buying a kit, I got this cool Perspex dome to display one of my models in. Thankfully, I was prevented from spending any more money by Gary, who called me over to say hello and sign a kit for his son Hugo. While I was there, I interviewed him about his magazine.
Right, I'm Gary Hatcher. I'm editor of a magazine Scale Aircraft Modelling. This is currently the biggest selling in the field. It's been going 30 years, just going into its 40th year. So we're here selling books, magazines, subscriptions, and I'm here meeting my contributors. And you can see the models on the table. This is a selection from recent articles in the magazine. A lot of my guys are here, and we're just enjoying the show as well.
So you're saying you're doing some judging. What do you look for when you're doing that kind of thing?
For me, the things that I like best, I look for the finishes, because I actually hate building models. It's a real chore. I like painting and finishing.
Right, okay.
So a good finish that hasn't been over-weathered, that isn't too fussy with the paint chipping and stuff. I like it to look natural. I'd rather there was less that looked natural than, so that was what I had my eye on.
To hear more about Gary's magazine and what he looks for in models as an IPMS judge, click the link in the video description. But now it was about time that I headed up to the highly renowned competition area. The competition area was huge and included a massive variety of models. The talent on display was truly incredible. I spoke to Tony, the competition secretary, to find out more about how the competition works.
We have several categories from aircraft, military vehicles, civilian vehicles, figures, science fiction, dioramas, and a separate category for juniors, because we like to encourage the juniors. And we had this year 1,100 entries in the competition. All our classes have 2 judges, so you get a perspective of a technical side of it and a model side of it. Judging can sometimes be a negative thing, because they are looking for mistakes more than looking for, oh, this is a good model, this is great. But if that's a good model and the next to it is a good model, how do you differentiate the two? You differentiate the two by any errors or mistakes. So it can be a negative thing, really, judging.
Could you just describe a little bit about which ones have won and why?
They have obviously been the best in their classes. The category winners of the classes, so the class is divided into aircraft, military vehicles, so they have a category winner. The category winners are on the table over there, and then from the category winners we'll choose a national champion and a junior champion, and they have been chosen as the best model. All the judges vote on the national champion, and it was unanimous this year. Previous years it's been very close voting, but this year it's been unanimous that the national champion, the Spitfire, that's on the table. So it's a worthy winner.
Looking around at all the incredible models, I came to appreciate how difficult the judge's job must be trying to pick a winner, because they all look so fantastic. Overall, my day at Telford was incredible. I met loads of kind, friendly people. It was especially great to meet some of you, my subscribers, and I saw hundreds of excellent models and soaked up some really great inspiration. I really wish I'd been able to go for both Saturday and Sunday, because there was just so much that I didn't get to see. I'll definitely be going back next year, and I'd encourage anyone who hasn't been before to go along, because it's a great place to get advice, inspiration and kits for modelers of any skill level. I hope you enjoyed this special video, and if you did, consider becoming a patron of my channel on Patreon so I can make more awesome content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.